Poverty Stoplight is an approach that helps people progress out of poverty by empowering them to understand and map their own choices. The Poverty Stoplight Office was set up in South Africa a year ago, in May 2015, to provide a platform that would equip and enable the adoption of this approach. Its purpose is to improve the success rate of organizations delivering social impacts through poverty-related and enterprise development programs. There are currently 15 members who've joined the movement, and there are a number of organizations who are waiting to onboard. The purpose of this video is to evaluate the role that the Poverty Stoplight Office has played for its members and to explore value created.
My name is Tracy Chambers, co-founder and CEO of the Clothing Bank. The Clothing Bank works with unemployed mothers to help them start small retail trading businesses.
My name is Nodumo Ndengezi. I work for Beautiful Gate, South Africa.
I'm Richard Sainer. I work with the Reuben Richards Foundation. We work in impoverished environments on the Cape Flats.
I'm Emma Sexton. My role is Business Builder Program Manager at the Business Place Philippi, and we're a non-profit organisation which offers business services for business owners.
I'm Lorraine Toy from Habitat for Humanity South Africa, and we basically focus on building people's capacity to become active citizens. So really moving away from being dependent to being independent and contributing to developing their own communities.
I'm Alex Jablonska. I'm a resource and partnership manager at Learn to Earn. Learn to Earn is a 27-year-old organization working with unemployed people and developing them holistically.
My name is Louise de Marilek. I'm the Senior Social Worker at Crystal House, South Africa. We are a school based in Ottery, and the whole vision of the school is to break that cycle of poverty in South Africa.
I'm Warren Jacobs, and I'm the Dean of Students at Crystal House.
My name is Andrew Milson, and I work with Food Lovers Market, or Fruit and Veg City. I've been supporting them for the last year in implementing their Sustainable Development Strategy.
I'm Sharon Kluti. I'm a facilitator, counsellor and coach. I also do poverty stoplight training and consulting.
My name is Funeka Blaginjobeni. I'm the Poverty Stoplight facilitator. I'm also a transformational coach.
That was the selling point, because we thought this is a tool that's going to make people take ownership of getting themselves out of poverty.
Before the tool, I think Habitat almost had an idea of what we wanted to do in the community. Even though we listened to the community, we had an idea of how to approach it. We had a certain direction and wanted to follow that. But after the tool, it gave us practical indicators of how to measure poverty, and it gave us a clear sense of what's the real need on the ground in a very visual way, and that also directed our steps to implement different types of projects and programs.
It was in our plan to shift from a deficit model to a strength-based model, so this Poverty Stoplight survey fitted very well with that paradigm shift.
It really helped us pass the responsibility of poverty eradication onto the beneficiary.
A lot of grant in aid traditionally is based on other people's perceptions and ideas of where they think relief is needed or should be applied. Poverty Stoplight gives you the opportunity to understand stories on the ground and to focus on real areas, not what I think the real areas should be.
What we came to realise is how we could engage with poverty in a more explicit level in a very constructive way without it becoming a topic of debate which can go into quite a negative space.
What we try to do by formalising the Sustainable Development Strategy is to firstly understand what are the key and core issues impacting our staff, and then what is our role in supporting those staff in their journey. Do we have a role? If we do, what is that? And how do we therefore shape our CSI, how do we shape our staff engagement, how do we shape our people strategy around the issues our staff are going through.
a lot. The understanding that it's not just a metrics, but it's actually a methodology for attacking poverty became very clear, because it's not just the mapping that's important, it's what you do afterwards that is critical.
The work that Laura's doing through her strategy sessions is making organizations question their strategy and question their impact and question their purpose. Sometimes it's very uncomfortable, but they really are important things that we need to do. And she does that with us all the time. And that's great.
We had our whole team together, so the psychologists, social workers, the nurses, and with Laura. And I think that was quite good to unpack, particularly from her perspective, where she's looked at other organizations, because she could see the pitfalls. She asked very strategic questions, and I think it got our thinking a little bit clearer. Up to that point, we were just rah-rah, very excited, but that strategy session actually helped us to define where we were going.
What came out for us as an organization was that we were doing too many things. That strategy session pointed us to the direction of having to focus rather than wanting to do many things with not any outcome that can be seen, because we are spreading ourselves too much out.
We were able to focus on the areas which we could explicitly have an impact, and which are the areas which we probably wouldn't, and what we would do about that. And then how we would introduce it, how we would work with different facilitators, how we would address different problems.
It's been great to really unpack the model and understand which aspects of Learn to Earn's interventions apply more directly to the assessment tool.
The initial strategy session was hugely important for, I guess, the key players who we're going to be rolling this out with, to understand why we're doing what we're doing, to validate the journey that we're going through, firstly, and then secondly, to provide the expertise in how we go about doing it, was hugely beneficial, I think, for all those key players to understand and to see for themselves.
It was interesting to sit back and see how they unpack the surveys they receive. And with our unpacking session, we went through each household and unpacked what's happening in the households, not just a community. It's working in a personal way with them that's unique to this specific household and this specific community.
We could see from the stories of the people who were already surveyed that it empowers them to see their dreams, to dream again, and to see their future changing.
What I took away from it was a tangible understanding of what poverty really looks like on the ground. It was a very much an ethereal concept, and you can strategize about things until you physically see people's brokenness. Once a bell's been rung, you cannot unring it, and it was vital, really good.
It's very revealing in terms of the discussions that come out, not just from the survey itself, but from the context within which the facilitator finds themselves and what they kind of pick up just in general within the home environment of the business owner.
It has helped us to actually individualize these families and not just to say these are poor people, these are vulnerable families.
It was really interesting for us to see there's so much more to the tool than just a set of questions, that it becomes almost like a counseling or a life coaching session.
I just found it extremely holistic and just, very thorough.
I took away just how challenging this is actually going to be for us. When we start to open communications with our staff in terms of what their key challenges are, and when we start to go through the process of gaining trust and building trust and working to support them on that journey, I think it'll open many of our eyes in terms of some of those real core social issues that people are going through.
It was very useful. Different organizations explained their process in planning on rolling out the tool, which helped Habitat to plan how we're going to roll out this tool. And then the organizations who implemented it also shared some feedback on the way of implementation and just the way it restructured their thinking in terms of working with communities. And that gave me a clear-cut picture of what we're working with, where we're going, and the way that we should approach the tools.
They've been fantastically useful. In the beginning stages, it's pretty much a lot of people learning from the initial organizations that have taken on the tool. In future, I'm really hoping that we can be more collaborative and share, because every organization is going to have different experiences.
Well, we could see how other organizations have managed to implement it and how it has improved their intervention.
Very valuable to hear different people's stories, very different environments. There's a lot of different learning areas that the tool can be used in.
When you're running a program, it can feel a little isolating sometimes, and the forum just gives you an opportunity to share with others and find out in their context what are they doing, how does it apply in your context, and it just helps you to feel more connected and supported in the kind of community of those people who are using that tool.
There isn't really one standard way of applying it.
It was quite good from a networking perspective. We got to see what other companies were doing, and also it just seemed to build on the excitement of people that were ahead of us in the process and what they've already done. And then also learning from others that are also about to implement and some of the concerns and the worries, and realizing we're not alone in that.
A great place to network, a great place to share ideas, tips, stories, and also to find out who else is out there using the tool.
We can only get better by working and sharing information across the sector.
Definitely we have more than what we need.
Absolutely. We've had a lot of information from Laura and the team there. Any information that we've requested, she's been very forthcoming with. I've been very, very, very appreciative of the time that she has spent with myself and with the team in building our understanding of what it is and what the tool can do for us and how we best approach it.
Poverty Stoplight Office is very hands-on. So if we need things, we get information immediately. And she's quite proactive. So she'll often push and send emails and remind us of things. We just like that sense of, she's on the ground, she's running with us. It's been really good. You feel that she's part of the process with you. She's just as excited about Crystal House and our unpacking of our strategy and our implementation as, it doesn't feel like a business to her. There's a passion in what they're doing, which we quite like.
Wherever we need Laura, she's incredibly good with data, and I've asked her in a number of cases to analyze specific things where we want to interrogate, we want to understand trends, and the product that I've got back has exceeded my expectations every single time. It's been incredibly valuable to help us communicate results to donors, to our board, to really package it in a way that people don't just see the individual's scorecards, but actually can package in a way that we can start to see trends.
Yes, because Laura has an open door policy where she actually walks with you throughout the survey.
The training's been good. Luckily, there's a very skilled set or group of social workers implementing it. The office that put it together has done a very good job with that by putting those resources in place and propagating them, increasing them as well.
Yes, definitely. Laura is literally a phone call away. There were times where I phoned her, I said, I'm stuck, I don't know how to move forward, what's the next step? She would come, we would unpack what's the way forward, why are we making specific decisions as we are doing, and she would really support us all the way through, and she's still supporting us, yeah.
The office has been amazing in just, helping out and making sure that the tools that we use for facilitation are up to standard and are working.
No.
No, I never had that experience.
No.
No.
Being part of the forum and working with the Poverty Stoplight Office, we've now met a lot of different people working in the enterprise development space, working with poverty alleviation, and they've got different competencies to us. So we've really built a better referral pathway network, and where we haven't got people within the forum, we're looking elsewhere, and we're very deliberately referring now. You know, it used to be something, oh, we should refer. Now we know what the problem is, and we are very deliberately referring and making sure that connection does happen.
With our partner organizations, whether they are within the Poverty Stoplight Forum or outside of the forum, we have decided that we are going to be collaborating.
The forum creates the ability to access those resources. You can't be all things to all people. There are only probably 2 or 3 categories, if you're really lucky and well resourced, that any organization can actively deal with. So yeah, the cross-pollination is critical.
So it's really not just giving us a tool and saying, there you go. It's working with us step by step, mentoring and coaching us almost in implementing this tool, so that we don't feel overwhelmed or uncertain of what to do.
We're doing it very differently in South Africa in that we have created an office, and I've just recently seen Martin Burt in China, and he's very excited about how we're doing it, because I think if individuals did it differently, we wouldn't ensure that we've got consistency of standards. And I think that's what the office allows us to monitor and measure, that everybody is executing the tool in the same way so that we can compare results.
I think we need the support from the office, because without that support, we wouldn't be able to actually implement it as it is supposed to.
You can pull a spanner out of your toolbox, but a spanner's a spanner until you know how to use it. So it's absolutely essential that you have the level of input into how to use this tool properly, and feedback and knowledge that keeps coming back in.
Initially you think, oh well, they're there as an assistance, some information I can gather from them, but what I really find is if there is any issue that comes up, that Laura can really jump in and partner with us in finding a solution. Just being able to pick up the phone and have a local person on the other end of the phone who can address something within immediately, if not immediately within 24 hours, usually just makes a huge difference.
I think in time, once we've got a sufficient group of people using the tool, the information that we're going to share is going to be the most important part about the office. And if individuals were doing that themselves, we wouldn't have the place where this data is going to be consolidated.
The hard raw data is very important in terms of building up a base. There's the beginnings of a base, but I think that data in terms of getting provincial and national authority engaged with what is going on is absolutely critical. And having a consolidated area where that information exists is absolutely vital.
I think it's really nice to have a central office that one can link with, strategize with, network with other organizations.
It's almost a community that believes in the very work we're doing. It's like as a non-competitive community, because often, surprisingly, NGOs are competitive. And now people are focusing on what they're good at and referring to places where they're not intending to have impact, and everybody's really chasing the bigger picture rather than their own individual agendas.
absolutely think the Poverty Stoplight Office is necessary, yes. Could an organisation do it by themselves? Yes and no. I think at a very superficial level, and I think what I'm looking forward to working with the Poverty Stoplight Office going forward is supporting us in finding like-minded organisations that are going through this so that we can share best practice and learning, and also to find NGOs and others who can support and provide input when we start to discover what the key issues that our staff are going through.
It's important for the office to be independent and not be attached to any organisation. And also it gives a bit of credibility to the results that come out as well, you know, that there isn't a sense of influence or manipulation of the results that come out.
I think the other thing that's really going to benefit us all is that we're going to really get a deep understanding of where we're having impact, and we're going to start referring our beneficiaries to each other's organisations and stop the duplication. We've generated a significantly bigger network through being part of this forum, and the work that Laura does there, connecting and joining the dots, saying but so-and-so is working in this space and you should speak to so-and-so, is really invaluable. I think it's very much a partnership. We're actually creating this together. So where the needs are is where the office goes, and I think it'll be shaped over the next 3 to 5 years.
So it's been very supportive as opposed to directional, hence the partnership.
It feels more like a partnership in that I feel like the office is very open to learning from my experiences, and I'm open to hearing and learning from their experiences. So there's very much, it feels like a learning partner.
I think probably as a partnership.
We want some partner to come alongside us in making sure that we're successful at what we're doing.
It's definitely a partnership, and I look forward to working with the office on that partnership, because as I said before, I think there's so much that we can be doing together, and by together I mean with other corporates, with other NGOs, to support people on their journey out of poverty. And I don't think one organisation can do that on their own, and so I think by having an office that brings people together, that facilitates a discussion, I think our learnings will be quite profound, I hope.
I do. It is a significant cost for us as a non-profit organisation. However, I feel that it brings a lot of value on many levels to the participant themselves in terms of the empowerment and the constructive information for them, and benchmarking and tracking and all of those things for them. Also for us as a program to see where we're having impact or not, and also just generally for the trends of South Africa.
I would say so. I think the tool is really valuable. If Habitat should start in a different community, I would say let's start using this tool first of all. You're paying a price, but the return on it is so valuable. I mean, you build relationship, you connect with people, you get a clear insight into what's going on into the households or in the households.
As organizations that subscribe to the tool grows, I think that will be a challenge, you know, for one person or, you know, to handle. Having more support for the office, because should something happen to Laura, for example, then what, you know?
I'm excited about using a standardized tool that other organizations are using in South Africa and abroad.
Poverty Stoplights, you know, giving us that platform, you know, to be able to reach our families in a deeper way than what we've been able to.
I'm very excited because now we are going to be working with these vulnerable families intensively. because we always felt that we were doing a hit and run. And when you work with these families, you don't want to be there forever. You want to be able to empower them to a point where they can be on their own.
I'm most excited about our staff going on the journey themselves. I'm incredibly excited about the management and all of us going through a journey with the staff to better understand what our staff actually go through on a day-to-day basis. I think that will help to build a huge amount of empathy in the organization. I think that will help build trust within the organization, and I think we can make substantial social impact by engaging with the tool.
Logistical rollout issues are something that I'm a little bit nervous about. I am a little bit nervous about capacity, and also from the internal facilitators that have been trained already, there have been some safety concerns.
So I'm nervous that the head office will say, hey, it's too labor intensive, let's put it on hold.
I think I'm probably most nervous about the trust element, in that at the end of the day we are a corporate. People work for us and with us. My concern could be that there isn't the level of trust that we want it to be, and so people ask, back off, my personal life has got nothing to do with you.
I just think it would be amazing if something like this was implemented countrywide, you know. I think I'd plan to be the first school that's about to do it, and I think that would be such an incredible match and a marry, you know. So I think, yeah, I'm waiting to see where we are 5 years from now.
Working with Poverty Stoplight in terms of where we go with this and how it all develops is going to be very, very interesting for everyone, and I really, really hope that after we've been through this tool that other corporates will be able to follow suit and learn from the journey that we are undertaking at the moment.
What we're doing in South Africa is unique, and I really think that we as a South African office need to influence the way the tool's rolled out worldwide. So it's being rolled out quite piecemeal worldwide, and I think we're losing the benefits of aggregated data. We're losing the benefits of collaboration. And I really want to see Laura and the office place pressure on Martine and the team to have offices around the world, and then we can collaborate as offices. Can you imagine sort of a Poverty Stoplight Office conference where the officers collaborate and share how they're doing it, and then the forum members collaborate and share how they're doing that on a worldwide perspective? I think could change the whole way the world views poverty.